Hello everyone. This tutorial today is going to be going over how you can access the software you need to do transcription for eCommunication class. And some of you might be thinking, seriously, we're learning transcription, do people still do this? And the answer is yes, people do still do transcription. We often see it where students have gone to work in attorneys' offices or are still in the medical field. You see transcription. Of course, we have software out there like Dragon Naturally Speaking or others where the software will actually type what you're saying. However, most have found that the software is not super accurate. So transcriptionists are still used, or the need for transcription is still out there. And I do have a student right now who's doing an internship at Jake's Cafe in Sheboygan, where she's doing a lot of transcription for a company, and they simply record meetings for her, and then she transcribes the minutes. So really transcription, what it is taking a recording and typing what you're hearing in that recording into a document. And that's what you'll be doing for part of this class. You'll notice in your textbook on page 12 that it goes over the transcription preview, and I mentioned this in Blackboard, that you would be working with transcription for this week. And on page 12 and 13, it talks about how to get the software that you need for it to do the transcription. Now, you can certainly, if you did have a book that came with a CD and you have a CD-ROM in your computer, you certainly can insert the CD and probably get all the same information. A lot of computers don't have a CD-ROM anymore, so I wanted to show you how you can also download it for free. So if you just go to Google or the internet anywhere and type in ExpressScribe free, and what I'd like you to do when you do find it is make sure you go to this nch.com website, because that is the official software or the company that creates the software. So you'll get to this page here and you're going to hit download, and you'll find that it downloads fairly quickly. And in this case, I'm going to close out that little box. And on your computer, it should show up here down at the bottom, ExpressScribe. And you at this point would choose run. I'm not going to choose run because I do have it on my computer already. But once you hit run, it'll go through a process. It probably won't take much more than a minute. And then this window will disappear. So I'm going to close out this window since I don't need to do that. And then at this point, you can close the internet as well because you don't need it. And you should find that on your desktop, you should have a shortcut for the ExpressScribe transcription software. If it doesn't show up in there, you should be able to go to your start menu and you'd find it in here as well. But hopefully most softwares, and especially in this case, it did put in a shortcut on your desktop. So you go ahead and launch that. And it's this little bitty window. It doesn't really need to be big because you don't really do much within this window once you get everything set up and get used to using it. So the one thing you can test and it might play as soon as you open the software, but it has this welcome file and you can hit play on that file and it's going to play the information for you. You might not be hearing mine right now because I probably have my recording. I think I tell my recording not to record computer sounds as I'm recording. So you probably can't hear anything coming from my computer. But once you do have this installed, you're going to need the files to do the transcription. So if you haven't noticed already, in Blackboard, I'll just go in there for a second in the learning plan for this week, which hopefully maybe you've seen already. Learning Plan 1, you'll see there's multiple items for this week. You have the English skills exercises, which come from the book. You have this handout that I have you working through. And then the last part is this part here, complete the transcription exercises for chapter 1. Follow pages 12 through 16 for instructions, but I'm basically giving you the instructions right now. But you'll see down here are the transcription files that you can download for the class. Click on this, it'll download it for you. And then you'd have all the files you need, all the transcription files, way more than you'll ever need for this class, but they'll all be in there. So make sure you download those files. And then just going to open mine here. You can load the files a couple ways. And I think what I would encourage you to do, you can certainly go to File and Load Dictation Files. It's kind of a weird system. You have to click on this folder here that you really can't see very well. And it works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. So what I would recommend you do is open the folder that has the recordings in it. Once you download onto your computer, you'll have this folder called Recordings for Sections. That's what it's called when you download it. And you'll see as I look at this, you can see Chapter 1, Document 1, Chapter 1, Document 2, Chapter 1, Document 3, 4, 5, and so on. Then it goes on to Chapter 2, 3, 4, and so on. All the chapters in the book are all the files that you'll see through here. So for this chapter, as you'll see in Blackboard, I'm having you do documents 3, 4, and 5. So I could select all 3 of these documents, and then I can drag and drop them in this window here. Make sure when you drop it right up where the welcome is. Don't drop it down below here, because it probably isn't going to work if you do that. And you can move this so you can see the files. And clearly I also put document 1 in there. But regardless, it doesn't matter. So documents 3, 4, and 5, the only way you know that these are documents 3, 4, and 5 is because of the file name. Chapter 1, document 3, Chapter 1, document 4, Chapter 1, document 5. So at this point, I would click on document 3, and if I hit play, I would hear it start talking to me.
This is the third document.
And I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's going to say transcriptionist. It talks to you as though it's talking to you. It calls you the transcriptionist. It's going to tell you what to do for this document. I would like to call your attention to page 14 in the book. At the very top of the page, note the standard transcription procedures. Important to note how they will play things. They give the first column there gives you some just tips on things to do. Listen, then stop and dictate. That's completely up to you. Somebody can some people are able to type while the person's talking. They don't need to stop. They're able to just keep up. Of course, you're going to have to stop at some point because you can't keep up or you're not quite sure what they said, or so don't worry about that, but it's up to you how you want to do that. On the right side, notice what they are talking about, capitalization for dictation. When a word should be capitalized, the dictator will say capital, and then they give you example. I need to see capital John today. So that's telling you that you would capitalize John. And then the next point says when each major word in a group of related words should be capitalized, the dictator will say caps. And that you see an example, American Institute of Technology. So then you would know that each of those words should be capitalized. And then finally, the last example is all caps. When he says all caps, then all of the word, every letter in the word should be capitalized. So just note those. Every chapter will have some information like that for you to help you understand what they're telling you to do in the dictation. The other thing I want to draw your attention to is the bottom part of that page where it talks about the unbound report. Page 15 gives you an example of the report. These are the exact directions you want to follow when you're doing these 3 documents for Chapter 1. Chapter 1 just does regular unbound reports. As we get into the following chapters, we'll be doing more letters and using letterhead and such. But this chapter is just kind of getting you started. They're pretty short transcription pieces, and you're just going to type what they say and use this formatting there at the bottom of page 14. So your margins should be 1 inch, your font size should be 11-point Calibri font, spacing should be 1.15 line spacing, and so on. So you can see all the information there as far as the title, what the size for the title should be, side headings, and so on. You want to follow this formatting for what you're typing here in Word. So when you're ready to go then, on the top of page 16, it gives you more information, but really this chapter, again, because you're just typing 3 short reports, it doesn't give you a ton of information because there's nothing really important to tell you about each report. You're just typing a report. So for each of these documents, you'll type them in a separate Word document. So you'll call the first document document 3, you'll call the second document document 4, and the third one document 5. So name them what they're called as far as the file name, so I know what you're submitting. So once you're ready to go, you're going to open Word and you'll just get ready to begin typing. There'll always be a little, stop in this, and that you'll have to open Word, and then you'll get the Express Size open and going, and then you'll click back into Word to start typing. So the one thing I do want to mention, and one of the reasons I have you use Express Scribe, is because of what you'll find here under the control option. When you're ready to type or when you're ready to go, you can click in Word and then you're just going to hit F9 to start playing. So that's the nice thing about Express Scribe. You can be in Word and using the function keys for Express Scribe. It allows you to do that. If you're in any kind of Windows Media Player or any other type of software just playing the file, that won't work. You'll have to click on, the Windows Media stop the transcription and then go into Word and so on. So it still works. It's just a little more awkward. But using Express Scribe here, you can hit F9 to play, hit F4 to stop, hit the F keys to rewind or fast forward. The more you use this, the more you'll learn these keys. Tell it to slow down, play slow speed, play fast speed if you're a faster typer, just depending on how you do. Play with pausing, and you can play around with all of these keys here, F9, 10, and so on, to get a feel for how that'll work once you're playing the transcription and start typing. It'll help you determine that. When you get all finished, what I would recommend that you would do, of course, is to read it, to proofread it, because you need to turn in a perfect document. You don't want any mistakes in there. I would, again, start the software, listen to it, and proofread as you're listening to them play the file back to you. So this is how you're going to use Express Scribe. Again, you'll be ready to go by hitting play, and then you'll go into the software and you'll start typing.
Paragraph.
When it says the word paragraph, it means you're going to hit the return key. It'll tell you when to put commas in, capitalization, and so on. So all those things it'll help you with as you're going. So I'm hoping that this little video clip helps you out here to get you familiar with using Express Scribe. Again, as always, let me know if you have any questions or any trouble. But once you're done with all 3 documents, you'll go back into Blackboard then, and you'll upload all 3 into the same Dropbox. So I'm not creating 3 separate Dropboxes for each document. You'll put all 3 documents in the Chapter 1 transcription Dropbox. So let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day.